One time I was on a call with somebody, and at the end of the conversation, she asked me if I was in a relationship with anybody at that point. And I said no. Her immediate response was like, brother, why now? Why are you still single? Or hold on, is it that you are single because your standards are too high? Because I see you as somebody that has standards will be too high. God. I was shocked. Nobody has ever told me that the reason I am single is because my standards are too high. When the call ended, I was in deep thought. I don't think I have ever questioned anything about myself or my life choices as much as I did that day. But one thing I will always do is have honest conversations with myself, and I did an honest evaluation to check if what she was trying to tell me was true. And that was when I realized that people confuse this thing a lot of times. There's a difference between having standards and having unrealistic expectations. In today's video, we're talking about a topic that sparks endless debates, which is having standards when choosing a life partner. Some people say that many women are single because their standards are too high, while others believe that having standards is necessary for a healthy and lifelong commitment. So where exactly is this balance? Let's get right into it. Hey loves, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rhoda Owadiaye, and today's video is a very special one because this conversation is very dear to my heart. This conversation has been on for the longest time that I can remember. And I am at that age where when you're not married, people will say, she has probably turned down all her suitors because she's selecting, she's very picky. Why is it that whenever a woman of marriageable age says she has standards and they have to be met, people get triggered by that statement? I don't understand it. It seems like having standards is a crime, or it's a taboo for you to say out loud. What many people are forgetting is that marriage is a lifelong decision. It's not something you just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to the streets today to pick anybody, and then you just pick a random person and you get married and you do happily ever after from there. It's a decision that you have to be extremely careful about, because whoever you end up getting married to will either make you or break you in life. So yes, both men and women should have standards that has to be met when choosing a life partner. I think the issue here is that many people confuse having standards with unrealistic expectations. So in this video, I am going to be breaking it down and explaining it. If you're a man or a woman listening to me, you can reflect and check if what you're looking for in a partner is truly about you having standards or just mere unrealistic expectations. When we say standards, what exactly do we mean? Because this word or this statement has been twisted so much. But having standards simply means knowing what aligns with your value, your long-term goals, and your emotional well-being. Having standards is not about you expecting perfection. Standards are about having shared values, lifestyle, and character. It's not about having a long list of superficial demands. Standards are those qualities you desire to see in a partner that will build a strong foundation for the marriage, and not just something that sounds nice on paper. Because you are choosing someone to build with, you are choosing someone to do life ups and downs with, you are choosing someone to potentially raise children with. That is not a decision to take lightly. Emotions and feelings that give these butterflies, they are good, but they are not as important as these qualities. Standards are your non-negotiables as a man and as a woman. These are things that you should not compromise on. So here are a few healthy non-negotiable ones. Number one, kindness. I know that we hear people say it a lot of times. They say, marry a kind partner, but as simple as this sounds, not many people are kind. Kindness in a relationship means showing consistent respect, love, and empathy towards your partner. You see this thing called empathy, you'll be shocked that many people lack it. Kindness is creating a safe, loving, and supportive environment for your partner. A kind person will always look for ways to make your life easy and not want to add stress to it. If doing life with somebody is going to add stress to my life, because life on its own is already hard, then I now choose to do life with you. You now want to add more hardship and stress to it. Let me just do life alone as a single Pringle, please. I met a guy one time and he said he does not eat stale food. I was like, you know what? He said he does not eat stale food, that whatever food he's making that day must finish that day. He eats fresh food every day. Me, I thought it was just in movies I used to see that thing. I don't know if people watch this is it Mr. and Mrs. Smith? One Nollywood movie like that where the man said he does not eat stale food. So the lady cooks fresh food every day. I was like, is that what my life wants to be like? So I said, so if I cook and I put it in the fridge, you cannot warm it. He said, no, that it has to be fresh. And I asked him, did you grow up eating fresh food every day? He said, yes. That his mother was making fresh food for the entire family. I was like, my dear, I'm sorry, my mother did not suffer like that in her marriage. My mother did not stress herself cooking fresh food every day for how many years in marriage. It's not me, her daughter, that would not go through that kind of a stress. And to him, he didn't see anything wrong with it. And please don't get me wrong. It's okay for him to want fresh food. That was how he was raised. And that is what he's looking for in a partner. But for me, I cannot do that. In my books, that is not kindness at all. You want me to handle children. I will handle you. I will handle me. I will handle, maybe I have a business or maybe I even do a 9 to 5. I will handle all of that. I will come from work every day to cook fresh meal. In my books, that's not kindness. That is what he wants. He can go to the next door and look for that kind of a person. It's not me. If you are saying that you cannot deal with that kind of a person, that is a standard. It's very okay to say, I do not want that. I've also heard cases where women talk about how unkind that their partners were to them during childbirth and even after childbirth. There was a story I heard where the lady gave birth. I think after she gave birth, she started growing hair on her chest. And this man would make nasty comments about that condition. And I'm like, this lady went through hell to bring your child into the world. The least you can do is to be kind. I see, there was a time I followed this Dear Joro page. I don't know if you follow that. I had to unfollow that page at a point because the stories I was hearing there was a lot. We have terrible men in this world though. Hey God, terrible people. Yes, I know we have terrible women too, but in this particular situation, the stories I was hearing, it was making me so scared for marriage. I had to unfollow because the kind of unkind things that people were doing to their partners, it was a lot. So there's nothing like, oh, I did not see this one. You see this particular one called kindness. It's something you would see clearly if the person has it or the person does not have it. So if kindness is in your standard package that a man or a woman must have before you consider them for a relationship or for marriage, then you're on the right track, my dear. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Another thing that I believe is a standard, and if that is in your standard package, you are on the right track, is loyalty and true commitment. There are many people out there that are married to people that are not committed to them and only them. Wanting a partner that is not a community property is a solid standard. Because that is what marriage should be about. Two people committed and dedicated to just themselves and not a third party involved in it. Don't let anyone make you look like you're a fool for wanting or for expecting loyalty in a relationship or in a marriage. I know in today's society, infidelity has been normalized, and those of us that have refused to accept it, we're often shamed for it. But that will still not change our values. So if you're saying I cannot be with or marry somebody that I have to share with other people, you are correct, my sister, my brother, because you will be the one that, I will get to why you should not reduce your standard at a later part of this video, because you will be the one that will suffer for it. They will not be the ones in the marriage with you. Selflessness is another important standard. Wanting a partner that considers you when making certain decisions instead of just thinking of just themselves is reasonable. This person is always thinking about how their actions is going to affect you. They consider you in everything that they do. Your happiness is their priority. That is a solid standard. Lifestyle choices as well is also a standard. You say you don't want somebody that lives life in a certain way. That's okay. For example, you don't want somebody that parties every day. Yeah. That's a good standard. You don't want somebody that is always out, jaye, every day. You're not being unreasonable with that standard. Religion and spiritual beliefs are also very important. It's okay to want a partner that genuinely shares your faith, not just someone that identifies as a Christian or a Muslim, but they truly practice and live their lives by these beliefs. If you say you want someone that practices your exact religion, that is fine. Even inside Christianity, we have different denominations. We have Catholics, we have Pentecostals, we have Anglicans. Some people will tell you, I have been brought up in a Catholic way. I don't think I'll be able to marry somebody that is outside my religion, that is not a Catholic. That is fine. Because two completely different beliefs. How is your house going to be like? I know that some people make it work, but it's a lot of work. It is better to just save yourself all of that stress and just marry somebody that has the same belief that you have. If you're saying you want a partner that is emotionally stable and mature, you're on the right track. A partner you can have an argument with and it will not result to malice. It will not turn into a big fight every time. I've heard cases where a couple would have an argument and this one will block this person, this one will block this person. They will keep this malice for 1 week, 2 weeks. And I'm like, hello, are you teenagers? And then we have couples that are inside the marriage and they're keeping malice. I've seen a situation. This one is not hearsay. I saw it. This couple, whenever this man is having a problem with the wife, if he has to drop money for maybe like the children's medication, he won't drop that money. The child will suffer because of the argument that he is having with the wife. He's not going to drop money for food. Hey God. So if you're saying, I am seeing all of this character in this person, and I don't want to be a part of this, that is a very solid standard. You want a partner that values honesty and integrity. Yeah, you are on the right track. This person is a man or a woman of their words. They are principled people. They don't just live life zabu zabu za. If you say you want a partner that is financially stable and financially responsible, that is fine. You see this conversation of a partner that is financially stable, people like to shy away from this conversation a lot of time because it's quite tricky, you know, because it's okay to say, I want a partner that has a stable income. Yes, because how is he going to provide for the family if he does not have at least something that is bringing in income into the house? We hear about being with a man or building with a man that has potentials. I am a believer of building with a man that has potentials. But when these potentials is not backed up with an intense work ethic, there's a problem there. You see those ones that say they have potentials. They want to do this, they want to do that, they want to, with their mouth, they've built like 5 refineries in this country. But you cannot see them putting in the work. They are lazy, they are unproductive. My sister, that potentials that you say you want to follow. There are also people that they are financially stable, but they are financially irresponsible. They lack financial responsibility. They have this money, they are comfortable, they have the job that brings in money, the money is coming in. They don't have financial plans. When you check how they handle money and you see that they don't handle money well, it's okay for you to say, I don't want to be a part of this. This is someone you intend to raise a family with. So a partner that cannot handle money well should be a non-negotiable in anybody's list because they will wreck you. From these things I have said, I believe you now have, to an extent, a clearer understanding of what having standards are. It is not a comprehensive list that you have to follow by the T. I'm not saying that you have to follow this exactly, or these are the things that you should, except from the financial irresponsible human beings. That one, I believe, everybody should have that on their list. I'm not saying you must follow these exact things when setting your standards. I'm giving you a general idea of what it means to say you have standards. And I don't think these things are crazy expectations. I believe these are basic things that will build a solid marriage. So why are women told? I don't think I've heard them tell a man that the man's standard is too high. It's mostly women. Why are they telling women that their standards are too high? These are the right things you should desire in a partner. Should I marry somebody that does not have empathy? Should I marry someone whose values do not align with mine? Should I marry someone that is not financially responsible? So when I say I have standards, why are you squeezing your face as if you just finished licking a tray or a bucket of lemons? Another thing I need you to understand is that standards are different. Everybody's standard is different. There's no one size fits all approach when it comes to choosing a life partner. What you say is your non-negotiable might not be what I consider as a non-negotiable. It might be something I don't mind compromising on. So it is never a one size fits all, and that is why you have to decide what you want and what you desire in your partner by yourself. But right now, let me also give examples of what having unrealistic expectations look like. This is where we are trying to create the balance now. For example, I mentioned you wanting a partner that is financially stable and financially responsible as a reasonable standard for someone to have. It is completely okay for you to want a partner that has a stable income, something that brings in money. Where it becomes tricky and unrealistic is when you start setting exact financial requirements. You're saying your partner must earn a specific amount of money. Your partner must be giving you a specific amount of money every month. He should be driving a particular kind of car. In fact, if he does not have a car self, you don't even want to listen to him. Your own is, if he cannot afford this, and that, he cannot be in a relationship with me, not even to talk of marriage. Sister girl, it's time for you to reassess yourself. Now, I'm not saying it is wrong to want a millionaire. By all means, please, my girlies, aim higher. Desire that millionaire. But I think you need to take another look at that list. Another issue is when you are using social media to judge or to gauge if this person is a good partner or not. You see a video where a man is showering his woman with grand gestures, luxury items, expensive gifts, expensive trips, and in your head you're like, hey, this is what a real man looks like. This is what it means to have an intentional man. If a man cannot do this, that means I don't want him. You consume so much of couples content online that you begin to believe that relationships and marriages, they are perfect. You assume that every day will be like a scene from a romance movie because that is what you see online every day. You see these couples post their dreamy dates, their cute videos and pictures. But what you're forgetting is that nobody is coming online to show you their struggles. Nobody is coming online to show you their frustrations, their disagreements, and the hard days in their relationships. But you see these sweet ones that you're seeing online, that is what you put in your head, and you believe that this is what a relationship and marriage should look like. So if maybe you're in a relationship with somebody and maybe you are having hard, difficult days, you're like, no, this is not what it's supposed to be. You are so quick to leave the relationship because you feel like this is not what I see online. The moment you start using social media as a benchmark to judge somebody if they're a good person or a bad person, that's your sign to pause and check yourself. Are your standards based on real value or just a fantasy list? And then we also have those ones that look at physical features. I know everybody wants to be with a fine man. Everybody wants to be with a fine woman. I've seen cases where people will say, they will see a couple and they're like, this man and woman, they don't fit. And if I ask them, why don't you think they don't fit? They'll say, the man is finer than the woman or the woman is finer than the man. And I'm like, do you people think that marriage is about who is fine and who is not fine? Why did this man marry this woman? Or why did this woman marry this man? They don't fit. They don't fit how? So you are looking for a partner that is magazine worthy. You're looking for a partner that is social media worthy. So when you post a video or a picture, people will give you praise that, you did such a cute couple. Is the cuteness what is going to put food on your table? Is the cuteness what is going to be the kindness and empathy that will hold you in their marriage and keep you for years married to that person? It doesn't even make sense to me at all. The key is to separate genuine standards from unrealistic expectations and superficial demands. Standards should be about character and compatibility, prioritizing character over superficial traits. I keep mentioning social media because social media these days plays a huge role in shaping these unrealistic expectations. Let me take this moment to talk about a previous video I made on how to handle comparison in this social media era. And if you've not seen that video, I'm going to link it somewhere here. So do well to go watch that video. These days, many people are blinded by superficial things that they overlook the important qualities that is supposed to build a strong foundation for marriage. While I encourage you to be selective with who you end up with, you should not just settle for just anybody. You also need to be sure that you are being picky for the right reasons, based on real standards and not just fantasy or unrealistic expectations. As I mentioned earlier, having standards is not a one size fits all kind of thing. What one person sees as a non-negotiable could be what another person sees as something that they can compromise on, and that is very, very okay. Using myself as an example, I love a partner that understands humor. I love a partner that can catch a joke because I consider myself a funny person. I don't like someone that is too serious or too uptight. Let's laugh together, you understand? Remember one time I met a guy and my usual funny nature, we're having a conversation, we're chatting on phone. I wanted to throw a joke, I love to send stickers. When I sent this sticker and I was trying to create a joke, you know what this brother told me? He was like, can't you have a matured conversation without throwing jokes around and sending stickers? My spirit just immediately went low. Now imagine agreeing to marry that kind of a person. My lively, fun nature would fade automatically. My excitement for things will die down. I will now start suppressing my true funny self just because I want to fit into the idea of maturity, just because I want to be married. God forbid. Robo people will say, oh, wefia. Because I should be free with you. I should be able to laugh. You get? Some people, they do not mind a serious, no-nonsense partner. But over here, we love fun. And I definitely do not want a boring marriage where we cannot throw jokes and banter. Hey, God, to fear, God forbid. That is why I'm saying you need to set your own standard based on yourself. It is important to define what those standards are for you and stick to them. Do not allow external opinions shape these standards and define them for you. And never let anyone shame you for having those standards. I know that if I told somebody that, oh, the reason why I refuse to go ahead with this guy is because he's too stuck up, they will say, oh, brother, you're not serious for marriage. You're not ready for marriage. Come on, my dear. If you can handle a boring marriage, go ahead. Me, I can't do that. At the end of the day, your standards are yours and you have every right to dictate what they are. Just because you accept it for yourself does not mean that I have to accept it. My marriage and your marriage cannot be the same thing. There's no two marriage that is the same. At the end of the day, you will not be the one living with me in that marriage. I believe that many of these people that are making you feel bad for having these standards, they have made poor decisions for themselves. They cannot stand the fact that you have the audacity to demand for what you want that they didn't dare to when they were making their own choice. If you choose to listen to those kind of people, it will not only be a bad decision, it will be very, very disastrous. Another reason why most of these people want you to drop your standards, especially men. You see these men that will tell you, you are listing this and that. You're not going to see somebody that has these things to offer to you. They want you to drop the standards because they want you to be desperate so that they will take advantage of that desperation. You see these men, they can smell your desperation like a rat smells food. The reason why you should not reduce these standards or remove them completely, because one, it will save you from future regrets. You see, when you don't have standards at all, you don't mind, anything goes as long as you want to be married, or maybe you have them but you now want to compromise because you want to be married by fire by force. Like, okay, time is going, let me just be married. It's not just to be married and have a man. You will soar or offer. It's not just suffer. Oh. Soar or offer is the elder brother and elder sister of suffer. Because you think in your head that you can manage it. See, let me tell you something. I believe marriage is one of two things. It's either you are enjoying your marriage or you are suffering in your marriage. There's nothing like, I will manage it, because there's no in between. If you choose to reduce your standards or remove something from your standard package, you need to be sure and be ready to cope with whatever struggle that will come with it. Down the line, do not complain. You know that, okay, this is what I'm getting into. Be ready to cope. One way to know if you are choosing the right partner or you're not just settling is to ask yourself some questions. Am I compromising on my core values, or I am just staying in this relationship out of fear of marrying late or even not marrying at all? If you constantly feel like you are shrinking yourself or you are ignoring what truly matters to you, then my sister or my brother, you are probably settling. A good relationship should feel aligned and not forced. Do not let the pressure of when will I marry or will I marry at all push you into making a bad decision. Your mates are marrying the right people for them. You don't want a good marriage too. Why do you think you are the one that will now have jakpata on? Where you're like, let me just manage it. Your head, is it forbidden good thing? Oh God. One thing I will always tell people when they talk about pressure to marry, I always ask them, when you rush and make this decision because of this pressure that you think you are feeling, are you not going to be the person in that marriage? Will they be with you in that marriage? You will be the only one that will face the consequences of that horrid decision. This simple thought alone should be enough to stop you from allowing pressure to dictate your decisions. And if you are listening to this and you're one of those people that is constantly prying into people's life, asking them about marriage, disturbing their ear, you need to stop. Stop asking people questions like, is there anybody yet? What's going on now? Why don't you have anybody yet? Sometimes you think that you're coming from a good place, but you're actually not. If they had someone, don't you think they will share it when they want to and when they're ready? Constantly asking will just put more pressure on them, and it will make them feel like there's something wrong with them. This kind of pressure can push people into desperation, and they end up making bad choices because they just want to get you off their back. Let me just marry so that these people will leave me alone, and that's not a good place to be at all. If that person ends up making a wrong decision today and that marriage fails, it is still people that will gossip and spread the news around town that this person's marriage has failed. So leave people alone. If you are among those people that feel pressured by anybody, I have advice for you, Shao. It's not godly advice, but sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes, go aura for aura, bad for bad. They will know that, Agatha is not somebody that you mess with. When they know that you don't take nonsense, they know that, this girl, we can't say this kind of things towards her. Trust me, they will shut it. Try it once or twice. All jokes aside here, it is very important to place boundaries to protect your peace. If these questions are coming from family members, close friends, I believe we should have honest conversations with them and tell them that you do not like these questions and they should stop. And when you are ready to share this part of your life, you will share it with them. If they do not understand, then that is on them. Then I believe you should do the other thing I said. If they are coming for you, come for them too. If you are watching this video and you're unsure on how to set good standards without falling into unrealistic expectations and just creating a fantasy list, here are a few tips I have for you. First of all, I need you to define what your core values are. Focus on what truly matters to you and not what society is expecting from you. Your values should be personal to you and you should stand by them unapologetically. Like I mentioned earlier, what I have on my standard package, I keep calling it standard package. What I have on my standard package or on my list is very different from what you have because my values are different from your values. What I stand for is different from what you stand for. So define what these things are for you. All of those things I said earlier is not a list that you have to follow through and say, oh, rather mention kindness, rather mention this, rather mention that. No, create your own standard. Do not allow society to dictate those things for you. Define it by yourself and stand by them. Secondly, become the kind of person that you want to attract. It's not just about you writing a list. I want my partner to be kind. I want my partner to be that. Are you kind as well? You also need to start working on yourself. The standards that you're expecting from this person should also reflect in you. You cannot demand kindness, demand empathy, demand loyalty, but you do not embody these things. So be the person that you also want to attract. Lastly, let God guide you. Seek God's guidance and wisdom when choosing a life partner. Pray. I always say this thing, pray. If you've toasted me before and you're watching this video, trust me, God knows your name. Pray about it. Even if marriage is not in your plans right now, start praying in advance. Because this person can click all the boxes here, and it might not still be the right person that God wants for you. So pray about it. If you're a young man or a young woman of marriageable age that have certain standards and you're sure that these standards are true values, not just superficial traits and superficial demands, and society is making you feel like there's something wrong with you because you are yet to find that person that meets those standards, I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with having those standards. You will meet the person that meets those standards. Stick to them because these standards will save you from a life of regret. Being careful when choosing a marriage partner is not about you being too picky or too selective. Yes, you have to be picky. You have to be selective. It's all about you being wise and knowing what you want. The right partner would align with your values, not force you to compromise on the important and core values that you have built for yourself. The goal is not just to be married, the goal is to be happily and purposefully married. I would like you to share your opinions. What do you think about this topic in the comment section down below? If you like to share them with me, tell me what your top 2 or top 3 non-negotiables are. I would love to hear from you. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please, why are you gatekeeping? Share it with others. Share it to people that you know would really want to hear this. Please give us a thumbs up. Do not forget to click the like button. It helps YouTube. It helps the algorithm push the video out there for more people to see. And please, if you are not subscribed yet, it's absolutely free. Just click the button, join this family, let us grow together, and put on your post notification button so that when a new video drops, you will be among the first people that will know about my new uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.